What can modern science and archaeology truly tell us about the deep history of human civilization? While orthodox history charts a well-documented linear progression from hunter-gatherer societies to structured agricultural communities, popular culture is frequently captivated by alternative narratives that challenge this consensus. At the center of this cultural phenomenon is journalist and author Graham Hancock, who has spent decades promoting the controversial hypothesis that a highly advanced global civilization existed during the last ice age and vanished overnight due to a catastrophic event. Today, we examine these claims through the objective lens of scientific methodology, analyzing the critical evidence and the definitive counters from the academic community. The foundation of Hancock's narrative relies on a real, extensively studied geological epoch, the Younger Dryas period. Approximately 12,800 years ago, as Earth was warming, it suddenly plunged back into a deep freeze for roughly 1,200 years. Hancock posits that this sudden climate crisis was triggered by a cosmic impact, such as comet fragments striking the North American ice sheets, causing cataclysmic global floods. From this geological event, he extrapolates that an unnamed seafaring civilization settled along ancient coastlines was entirely erased. When faced with the absolute absence of physical ruins from this supposed empire, Hancock offers the counter-argument that their cities remain submerged under 400 feet of water and miles of marine sediment, making them inaccessible to modern discovery. To build a case for this missing epoch, alternative researchers frequently cite specific megalithic structures around the world, claiming their construction dates are deeply misunderstood by mainstream science. A prominent example has been Gunung Padang in Indonesia. Hancock previously showcased the site as the world's oldest pyramid, suggesting advanced architecture existed millennia before the dawn of agriculture. However, this claim was recently disproven. In early 2024, the controversial 2023 scientific paper asserting the site was a man-made pyramid was officially retracted by the journal Archaeological Prospection. Following an extensive peer review, experts exposed severe dating errors and a fundamental misinterpretation of the data. Mainstream geologists and archaeologists have demonstrated with empirical evidence that Gunung Padang is overwhelmingly a natural volcanic formation that was merely modified by later historical human societies. A similar pattern of selective data interpretation occurs with the Great Sphinx of Egypt. A small number of alternative geologists argue that the deep fissures on the Sphinx's body indicate heavy rainfall erosion, a climatic condition that last occurred in Egypt at the end of the Ice Age, thereby implying the monument is thousands of years older than pharaonic Egypt. However, the vast majority of Egyptologists and geomorphologists firmly reject this hypothesis. Geological studies show that the local limestone consists of varying porous layers that naturally degrade unevenly due to atmospheric moisture, dew condensation, and salt exfoliation. Consequently, the weathering patterns perfectly align with the known Old Kingdom timeline and the reign of Pharaoh Khafra, roughly 4,500 years ago. Hancock's narrative also heavily relies on cross-cultural parallels, specifically the prevalence of devastating flood myths and recurring mythological figures who allegedly arrived to reteach the arts of civilization. He further points to shared geometric motifs, such as the handbag shapes, carved at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, and found in ancient Mesoamerican reliefs, as evidence of a forgotten global network. Anthropologists and historians, however, demonstrate that these parallels do not require a singular prehistoric source. Applying Occam's razor, the principle that the simplest explanation with the fewest assumptions is usually the correct one. Science notes that early human societies universally settled near major rivers and coastlines for survival. These independent populations naturally experienced localized catastrophic flooding events, which they independently mythologized over generations. Furthermore, the handbag shape is a basic, universal geometric form used by diverse hunter-gatherer cultures to depict standard woven baskets or ritual buckets, representing independent human utility rather than a hidden global empire. This brings us to the core reason why the global scientific community classifies Hancock's work as pseudo-archaeology. The primary critique from academic scholars is not a dogmatic refusal of new ideas, but rather a strict adherence to empirical evidence. If a global advanced civilization had existed during the Ice Age, their presence would leave an undeniable material footprint. Archaeologists would regularly discover metallic tools, mass manufacturing waste, synthetic materials, pollen from domesticated crops in distinct Pleistocene soil layers, or a widespread genetic anomaly linked to that specific population. Yet, despite over a century of global archaeological excavations, not a single technologically advanced artifact from that period has ever been unearthed. Critics emphasize that Hancock routinely cherry-picks anomalies while ignoring vast volumes of contradictory data, relying on dramatic rhetoric like collective amnesia to invent mysteries where the scientific data provides clear, rational explanations. Ultimately, the study of human antiquity presents a definitive contrast between verified scientific data and highly speculative pop culture theories. Orthodox history represents a meticulously documented, hard-fought progression of human ingenuity based on concrete physical evidence. While alternative narratives like Hancock's serve as an interesting case study in how mystery captures the public imagination, they remain firmly outside the boundaries of validated science. What are your thoughts on how we evaluate the evidence of our past? Do you prioritize the empirical, step-by-step discoveries of modern archaeology? Or does the enduring appeal of lost civilizations still hold a place in popular culture? Share your perspective in the comments below, like the video if you enjoyed this analytical breakdown, and subscribe to the channel for more objective explorations of history's greatest debates. See you in the next video.